Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and welcome to my armory. So I figured I'd do a video on my large props because, well, I kind of have a few of them. So walk over mess. Like I am as far back as I can get and I can't actually fit them all in frame. So yes, they are kind of big. And I realise I'm tilting the camera, but yeah, so first up, and least complete out of all of these, despite being pretty chunky, is my Yarrick claw. Hopefully, it'll get finished this year because I have a goal in March. I had originally thought of doing a Sister of Battle props video, but a good chunk of those are. Jeez, I keep walking on bags that have got stuff in them. Yes. I may well do that video, but I figured I'd do this since two of the props are in it. So, first up, we have the Yarrick Claw, which is the least complete thing out of this list, and this hasn't even got a pole detailing yet. But yes, we have the small axe, the medium axe, and the giant axe. Oh, stepping back over stuff. So yes, you can see the sliding scale of big. Rory's axe is stupidly huge, and I scaled it. It's actually underscaled. I'm pretty sure I underscaled this thing. Now, I made this thing before the pandemic. It, over time, has taken battle damage. Some of that battle damage I have chosen to kind of paint up, or I had chosen, but I've kind of lost the bits. That I'd kind of chosen to do that kind of Japanese repair art thing where they use gold to repair things. I don't actually have gold for that, and gold would melt foam. But I chose to paint it gold where it broke, but then it broke again. Yes, we have Rory Mercury's massive ass halberd, or what's left of it. I need to, if I'm to do this, to bring this thing back to a con, I need to make the bottom of the need to redo the snake and add the rest of it onto the bottom part, because I've lost the bottom part snake. I need to make a new back spear sword part, the twin prong part that goes up here. I think, was that the Live Long and Prosper one? Oh yes, I'm a Warhammer and Star Wars fan, and vaguely Star Trek interested. Boy, is that a political difference. But yeah, this thing has seen better days, like me. Although better days are coming for me, so maybe I'll make them come for this one. It was designed to collapse better than it does. I didn't use epoxy like on the joint section like I did with this one, with these ones. So it's screwed in, and I physically cannot unscrew that unless I do what I did here with this one when getting it unscrewed, and use a pair of what are they called? Shifters, and just wrench the two things apart. Maybe it's a wrench I'm thinking of. Either way. But yes, going down, we have the Omnissiah axe, which isn't only really short of like 2 to 3 details and needs a little bit of a repair. Like, it needs the top node detail that you see on the engine, is it the engine sear? No, it's the Dominus axe, because that's what this is based off, and a little sensor thing that I didn't even realise was a sensor. Looking at it, I thought it was an extra long finger thing. I also need a little power node on here. Then we have the Xenorite axe, which needs its back prong, Necron style prong off there, and then a whole lot of detailing on there. I'm thinking for the bottom section, I'll add in a Necron iconography that lights up into it, into the bottom part to some degree. I mean, it's relatively easy to do lighting And we've got lights inside the base of here that go kind of just under the edge of, just inside of the edge of where that is, that go around there. I've not got batteries in it because it makes it too top heavy with the batteries, and it's already top heavy. So yeah, that lights up. We have, I'll just move the Yarrow claw to here for a moment. Yarrow claw, it can be picked, the tooth is adjustable. It needs a massive dust, and I'm just going to move it forward further because I'm fairly certain that if I went to pick it up then I would have hit the door, but if it can be seen, there is actually a hand grip in there that allows me to properly hold the thing. This thing is made using scrap pull foam that I was given by a friend of mine who'd scored the stuff and was like, what do I do with this? Do you want it? And I'm like, yes. This stuff is 3 centimetre thick EVA foam, or some variation of it. Now, because this thing's been through hell in storage, it's coming apart, but that's not a bad thing because that means I can actually do more work on it. This thing, I started with an unrealistic time frame of how long it would take me to build the blasted thing, and yeah, it never got finished. Good. Like, you can see how stupidly big it is. They are in comparison. It's funny, I originally planned on using the Tech Priest axe with my Rory cosplay when I was first working on it back in 2016, and never got the Rory cosplay finished because I struggled with some of it, with getting the right pattern for it. Next, I'm just going to move this a bit to there. Can I? Will you? Yes, you will stay. Good. This huge bugger of a thing, and I can say that now without being penalised by YouTube, I hope, is my original eviscerator prop. I made this thing back before the pandemic as well, much like the Rory axe and the claw. And it is heavy, it is huge, and it's cool. It's also not particularly strong. Like, there is a solid wood dowel inside the core of this, inside a PVC pipe that runs all the way down, and it still wobbles when I swing this thing. It's too heavy for its own good and mine. It hasn't snapped, but it certainly has felt like it could, which is why I don't really swing the thing. This thing has been lent out for photos to my friends at events. My favourite photo being my friend Sailor Moon cosplay with it, and it kind of takes, by the moon I'll punish you, a bit differently than her just throwing a crown at you. It's like, I'm just going to take you apart with a chainsaw designed for cleaving tanks. Gotta love Warhammer, it's absolute bullshit. Yes, and then we have, in the going down size of chainsaws, eventually I'll have one that's even smaller that actually fits in a waist sheath. But we have the chainsaw I set up back in 21. Yes, you get to see some of the mess that's to the side there. Never really intended on all that mess being vaguely in view, but oh well. But yeah, the big chainsaw here, it's not intended as an eviscerator, but it might as well be because it's more practical than the one next to it. I went for the hazard stripes because it felt cool. It's also, unlike this thing, which is just lots of layered EVA foam and then a crappy polypropylene foam around the outside, which is why in places you can see green, because it's a cheap polypropylene foam that was longer than a metre that I could get. Before I knew that you could order foam on a roll per the metre by the metre with an instruction of don't cut. Don't cut it separately. Oh well, who knows? I might redo this thing and add in more details at some point. That'd be a task. Who knows? Might do that before I pass it on to a hobby store or something. It used to have more details on it, but things got knocked off. But yeah, this one. Now, this one's seen a bit of battle damage, namely around edges that catch where it can rub. But like, this thing is light. particularly on the other side, is where you see the rubbing, and the rubbing almost makes it look like it's made of metal because I used grey foam. That was lucky. But yeah, the teeth on that, basically, a thing I chose to do when I went, okay, I'm going to do big chainswords, is the teeth on it are intentionally designed to break so that I don't injure anyone. Because I went, if I swing this thing and this catches someone, the last thing I want is the teeth on it to actually tear into them. I'd much rather that if it catches someone, the teeth break off. And XPS foam is very good for breaking off, especially the shitty green stuff that I used on that and on the teeth of this and in the core of this. Like, this thing is, we've got 2 main layers of EVA foam. We've got XPS foam on the inside, and you can kind of see the texture differences between the XPS and the EVA. I did actually go around and do a bit of spot filling with what's it called, with EVA as well, and I believe I actually cut the teeth down to be a bit thinner, because you see how thick the XPS is on here, and I went, I'm going to need to fit more in, so I'm just going to cut it down a bit to make it less huge. And then the smallest out of this lot, maybe vaguely the smallest, certainly the lightest out of probably most of them, apart from it's the lightest, although the chainsword could be close, is my Imperial Legion Heavy Shield. Now, you guys have seen this on the channel before, and here's kind of where it's up to. I still need to do the metal banding trim on this reverse side of it, but it is coming along, and hopefully I'll make a Legionary costume this year. The running joke. Imperial Legion one of these days. I started this thing back in 2019, and oops, my fingers are in the way of the camera. And yeah, I hope to, at some point, have it finished, along with a full female Legionary heavy armor set. I might well do the light armor set first, because often the heavy armor is worn over the light armor. I say often, not always though. The female Legionary heavy armor uses the shoulder pads from the leather armor, from the female leather armor, which I'm not complaining. Extra armor is extra armor. I just wish, that there was that option for the guys. The thing I have a problem with in a lot of fantasy games is, it's like, here you have the male armor. It's like, here you have the male armor. It is fully chunky and tanky and looks like it can take a hit. Here's the female armor. It's highly sexualized and has hardly any visible armor rating, but it has the same stats. It's like, why? I get you want to perv off characters, but some of us just want to wear armor that have our characters wearing armor that actually looks like armor and actually can take a hit. Mind you, my favourite kind of Imperial Legionary style gear is Nordic armour with the enclosed Legion helmet. That's my favourite gear for Legion playthroughs. Yes, eventually there'll be a smaller chainsword that's probably about from here to the floor length that we'll be able to go in a sheath, and means that this one it'll still see action, but it won't see as much, because I tend to go, my common loadout is the chainsword, a bolt pistol. Now, can I see that on camera? Good, I can. I just kind of covered the edge of the screen where I was visible. And a power sword. Now, the chainsword turned eviscerator I use as a I can't get this thing off easily. Nope, I can't get it off easily. Okay, it stays in the chest. Basically, my thinking is that the eviscerator and the bolt pistol are the primary loadout. The power sword is a fallback weapon, much like the Roman gladius was. Everyone loves the gladius, or maybe not everyone, but a lot of people. Like, the only part really of the Roman Empire I care about is the gladius. And, the gladius and kind of the armor design. I don't really care much beyond that. That is patterning paper or templating paper. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough about my gigantic ass props. I will share more in future. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you around. Bye.